How you doing? Welcome to the Browns halftime show with the halftime score. Cleveland 6, the Rams 3 as Justin Bieber is holding them to a low total. Maybe somebody at some point will believe me when I say that this offense isn't right. Now, I know the Rams are a fine football team. I'm not going to criticize the Rams, not at all. Uh, but it doesn't look right. It hasn't looked right. It's not getting better. The timing is poor. We make a lot of mistakes. There's penalties. Receivers aren't open. There's no separation. So now we're just getting rid of the ball in 3 seconds, and they're still not open down the field. Freddie Kitchens is in way over his head. He took Todd Haley's better plays that Todd didn't know how to organize, and he organized them. But Freddie is obviously not a creator, not like Sean McVay is. And you're going to see that in the second half when adjustments are made by one side and not the other. It's obvious now what we have here, unfortunately, and that is a head coach who is not up to par offensively, and that was supposed to be his strength. That our defense in the last 2 weeks are keeping us in games is not a good sign. Baker Mayfield is a non-factor. Jarvis Landry is a non-factor. Beckham is a non-factor. I mean, we've turned into a 3-step drop, throw it down the middle, and hope somebody's open offense. There's nothing developing down the field. There's no offensive line, no time for him to throw the ball. The Browns cannot win this football game. Being played this way, they cannot win. Because the truth is that the Rams have dropped a few passes. They've had men open that Goff missed who were wide open, and we just don't have men open down the field. I would feel a whole lot better if there were at least people open and Baker was missing them. But the fact is, I don't see it. Baker doesn't see it. I don't know. Yeah, be happy, you clowns. We are in a fist fight, Derek Frisbee says. A fist fight you can't win. Their offensive coordinator, head coach, knows what he's doing. Our guy, alas, does not. That's the problem. This is true. Wade Phillips is doing a good job. But everybody has done a good job against the Browns this season. It can't happen week after week if you're practicing and you're practicing and you're game planning and you're game planning. It can't come out like this. I want to remind everybody there's no post-game show tonight. I have doctor's appointments that I have to be at tomorrow early in the morning, and I'm not staying up to do a post-game show, especially for this, again, trying to move the line up the middle, and and there's nothing there. Our offensive line doesn't pass block. They don't run block. It's hard to know exactly what they do. We've done a good job of hiding the deficiencies in our secondary, mainly because we've held onto the ball for some drives, but we don't have the knockout punch. We're an ineffective red zone team, the exact opposite of last year. And, the way I look at it, and, I'm telling y'all what I think, and I think I will be proven right in the end, is that when Freddie had a professional playbook, he was able to synchronize it with the people on the field. There is no sign that Freddie Kitchens and Monken have created an offensive juggernaut here that is unstoppable. In fact, it is just understandable. It's just the guys who are running the offense don't seem to understand it. I don't know. The defense is keeping us in this. There's no question about that. The Rams are going to get the ball to start the second half. And you're going to see the adjustments that they make. And what the adjustments are going to be is that they're not going to worry about the Browns pass rush. They're going to take advantage of some of our second string guys. And that's going to be a problem. Our secondary is thin. And we're hiding it pretty well right now. I don't know why McVay has continued to run quick screens and bubble screens and things like that when the line of scrimmage is crowded. I don't know what the deal is. Olivier Vernon is playing basically like, Sir Lawrence Olivier. I mean, I don't see a lot. Ogunjobi one sack, Myles Garrett one play. It was a big one, but we again couldn't convert. There wasn't A, very much time, and B, we were busy trying to throw 4-yard passes with 18 seconds left on the clock. It doesn't, I don't understand why they ran that last play, to be very honest with you. I mean, I just would have kicked the goddamn thing. At that point, why risk a mistake if you're just not going to throw for the end zone, which Baker clearly wasn't going to do? Why not just kick the football? This is what I said before in the Friday show, is that the Rams are efficient. Okay? They're efficient. I don't see that they are necessarily explosive. I see them as a very efficient football team. They don't make mistakes, and they will find their way down the field, and their defense will give them opportunities. Freddie has been calling the plays, Mark. I don't know what Monken does, to be very honest with you. And this is true. There is not enough pressure on Goff, and he's missed some open men. That's not going to continue. He's a 63% thrower. He's not a hugely accurate thrower, but with the time that he has to throw, he'll find people. Believe me, he will. Nobody understands half the thing that Freddie Kitchens is doing this year. I don't get it. And again, the defense has done everything that is expected of it and then some, but we got nothing offensively to really show for it. We've turned into an Austin Seibert team, a three-point team, a punt-em deep team, and that's not the identity that Freddie was going for. What it looks like is that Wilkes is doing his job with what he has, but I don't see how the offense and the personnel has been orchestrated to make this team look better. This is another way of looking at it, considering we have a shitload of injuries, ... But the injuries, for the most part, are on the defensive side of the ball. And offensively, David Njoku isn't going to make a difference. The receivers are not open. The plays are not giving us an opportunity to get down the field. So, the defense is playing with it, without a secondary. The offense, this is our offensive line, with the exception of Hubbard, and I don't consider Hubbard a viable player anyway. So this is who we got, and it isn't very good. And Nick Chubb is not going to have big plays from scrimmage when people are 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage contacting him. So lots of difficulties. Hey, Stephen Rose, how you doing? Something, I'm going to throw you out of the chat room, Frisbee, and I'm serious. I don't care if you're immature and 16 years old. No, this is, I'm not telling anyone to be negative about anything. If you want to just, masturbate with your OSU pom-poms, do it, you little fag. I don't need that shit from you. You're on this show, and the reason you're on this show is to try to get people to come to your shit channel. Let's be honest about it, you creep. Enough of that. My goodness. Trying to be rational. Our MO before the season began was for vert. If you did any reading, you'd know. For vert. That is Monken's credo. Freddie was talking the same thing. That's not what we're seeing. It's not worked. There's no chemistry between the quarterback and the wide receivers in the four-vert scheme. And if you think that missing Njoku is the problem, or missing Callaway is the problem right now is that the scheme isn't working. And I agree 100%. A guy making a transition to head coach and he still wants to call the plays is not a healthy thing. Freddie Kitchens may be an interesting character, but the play calling has been suspect this year, to be sure. Question, do you think Baker should play his game instead? He can't play his game. That's the problem. He doesn't have time to throw the football. He was lucky he didn't get sacked again in the end zone because he was double clutching again in the end zone. The guys aren't open. It must be obvious to all of these defenses what we're trying to do. That's the problem. If Baker could play his game, we wouldn't have a problem. But this offense and the offensive line precludes him from holding on to the ball at all. And, it makes it very, very difficult. The only time we move the ball, is when timing patterns. And again, throwing to the middle of the field. Baker's having trouble throwing to the sidelines. They've taken the middle of the field away. This is 3 weeks in a row. So, I agree with this. Higgins is an important guy. But these are zone defenses. These are not man defenses. That could have been a pick six if Baker had not overthrown the ball to Landry down in our zone. The guy had jumped the pattern. He knew what was coming. He peeled off the receiver who went by him into the end zone because he knew that Baker was going to throw short. And that was with 18 seconds left in the second quarter. That's not good. That's not good at all. And that's right. The patterns don't develop because there isn't the time for the quarterback. It's a big problem, And really, isn't that basically what we have seen for years from the Browns when they can't keep pressure off? You try to throw slant passes, but when you're playing zone defenses and disguising like Wade Phillips, somebody's going to step up and pick off that pass. You'd be thinking too much too, Alec, if you had this group of bozos in front of you on the offensive line. They're overanalyzing is because of what defensive coordinators are throwing at him, and the limitation of time is, this clock is going off in his head, and suddenly the game is moving way too fast for Baker Mayfield. It's very difficult. And that's true. I mean, the one that was complete to Landry, the guy was just a half a step away from being there. It's difficult. First team to get 300 yards should win. The Rams are going to win. A big moo to you too, Mark. Moo. Is it too late to start drinking before the game is over? No, it's never too soon to start drinking. Let me know when the half is beginning because I am being honest. Thank you, D-Bag. Hey, your Ravens put up a hell of a fight against a great football team. That was the two best teams in the AFC. Believe me, that was a great football game. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. If we were playing great, I'd be saying we'd be playing great, but we're not playing great, That's, that's right. A summer breeze at tight end. Thank you so much for that. The game is coming back on soon. All right. Game ready to start. I'm out of here. No post-game show tonight. So you all go to Derek Frisbee's channel and listen to his program. Oh, yeah. And if you hear his mother moaning in the background, you'll know what's going on. Hey, I will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Moohead Radio, and we'll go over the entire second half and the entirety of the game in analysis. So if I'm not in analysis first. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's try this in the second half. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastorhead. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.